I had an epiphany just recently. As all good epiphanies do, it happened while I was making a stupid joke. I was talking about how Susie in Coming Home is connected to both Chica and a tree named Oliver, so I took a random place that had both Chica and a tree and jokingly referenced it. But then I noticed something. The tree in Princess Quest is losing its leaves. Why is that? Then I remembered a really weird tweet from a few weeks ago. I can't remember who made it, so if anyone watching this knows, please let me know so I can add credit to the description. The tweet pointed out that in the original Princess Quest, one of the 6 lights in the graveyard is already lit up even before we touch it. And in Princess Quest 4, we see that this light is the one in front of Susie's grave. Susie has been weirdly relevant since her introduction back in 2017. She got her own minigame, her own Fazbear Fright story, her own backstory in the 4th closet, and lore and Ultimate Custom Night. Scott even made a joke about it in UCN's Troll game. People are always making these weird theories about old characters returning. Henry is back, Elizabeth is back, Charliebot is back. Now I'm gonna take my own bizarre stab at this trend. What if Susie is back? Think about it. Chica, and only Chica, appears in Princess Quest. Apart from Grim Foxy, who's there as a reference to Curse of Dreadbear, and obviously the old man, nobody else appears in the main 3 minigames. And then in the VR one, Chica's grave is the first one you need to light up, and as I said before, is the one that you already lit up before you even touch it in the first game. And then there's the trees. Princess Quest and Security Breach are both filled with oak trees, not baobab trees like in the Storyteller. They're specifically oak trees. There's one in a secret room in Princess Quest. There's one in the tombstone area, nearest to Susie's grave. There's one in multiple endings of Security Breach. There's one painted on the wall of the daycare in Ruin. There's one on the doorway after the graveyard, losing its leaves. And now, back to my original point. There's only one time in the entire history of Five Nights at Freddy's where a tree losing its leaves has been relevant in any way, and that's in Coming Home. In that story, part of Susie's soul is tied to a tree, and when that tree loses all its leaves, Susie can't return to it anymore, and thus can't see her family anymore. But if Susie hadn't been put back together at the end of the story, what would have happened once the leaves came back? Keep in mind, in Coming Home, Susie had been dead for a year. That means there must have been some point before this where the tree had already lost its leaves, but she's still here. So would it matter if Chica was destroyed, if part of her soul was still linked to the tree? Would she be freed by the fire? Maybe she would. Maybe this all means nothing. Or maybe she's still here, and it's been hinted at over and over again for over 6 years. And to address what I'm sure people are going to ask about, I know that Coming Home isn't in the game timeline, but the connections have me wondering if something similar did happen in the games, just without Susie being freed at the end. The Ultimate Guide tells us that the story is supposed to give us background on Susie from the games, after all, so we shouldn't write it off entirely. And to address the other question, if Susie's still around, then why? What purpose would that serve for the story? I have no idea, to be honest. That's why it's a crack theory.